Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Our computer ran out of battery, and I couldn't put it in the charge quick enough, and so the stream disconnected. Okay, to re-explain what I was talking about, so we've been we updated this page, specifically more so the left page, and then this panel, the top right panel, and I was talking about how, like, this hand motion here, yeah, like, you go down here, yeah, I follow there, and then because of the way you read, it follows, and it has that very eye motion. It has that feeling of the hand swinging backwards, like that. And that's why we find it okay to remove these flowers here, because it gives more of a feeling that the hand moved a lot. And, whoa. Because, like, there's limited space here, it gives a feeling of being cross-page. So, like, moving across the page, and the flower still staying right there while the hand still, like, moves backwards. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna... I don't want to curl up these fingers too much because I want to give it like a loose feeling. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay. And another thing is that the hand motion here, it will always follow like with the eye. So like that, and then jutting out, like that, and then like here, and then down here. And because of, like, you can easily read it as, like, going up, stuff like that. So a good thing you want to keep in mind while making a comic is that everything you do, it has, like, an invisible camera with it. There's always a camera. And the camera is just where your eyes is wanting to go. And guiding it along is pretty important, especially if you're wanting to do a more dynamic comic. I especially feel I need to clean up this page. Okay. 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 Yeah. Alright. Let's try that side. Ooh, that side should be done. Okay. So I'm just gonna clean up this part. Okay, I have a better idea. Okay. Ba. Okay. This part should be done. Yeah. Okay. I'll consider this done. Okay. Let me just do that. Yeah, so with this redraw, even though there doesn't seem that much difference, I feel a lot changed, because when you read the left page, with this hand motion, it feels more like gently touching it, touching the flower, and then more like softly raising your hand like that. While with this one, they're barely touching the flower right here, and feel like they're more reaching out, but they can't fully grasp it, like fully reach it down there. And then the hand here, because of the removal of these flowers being like more clear, it feels like their hand moved a lot more. And I feel there's like possibly like an argument of like which one is better. Maybe the first one, the previous one, might be more like quote unquote better. But I personally feel this one is better, the second one, the one we just cleaned up. Even though I really do like the previous one, I feel the one on the newest one, it shows Kris's like feelings and intentions more, instead of just feeling like slow lead up just for a slow lead up. Because like not being able to fully reach that flower or just barely touching it, and then more almost aggressively raising their hand like that, like pulling their hand away. It's such a minor change that I'm not sure if it's even that like noticeable, but I do feel it's pretty important. I'm just not sure if I should clean up like the finger part so it's more clear. I think this is fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Because it's still clear that they're touching it. Another reason why I've moved the hand like that is because if you focus here, like, actually, let me zoom it out. I want it like roughly the same size. So if I zoom it out like this, and you look at the hand here, you'll notice the one on the right has a more clear silhouette. So it's a lot easier to see, and it's only the one finger overlapping the flower, while here it's the whole hand, so it's a little harder to see, which in some circumstances is not a bad thing, but due to the detail on this page, I feel at least this clarity is needed. Yeah. And here's the right page. Pretty much the biggest more update is the first panel, as well as the third panel here, where it just kind of cleaned up Kris a little more. Mostly because I wanted to make these flowers here a little more clear, because here was a lot more kind of doodled, because them holding the flowers right there is very important, because the next page here, this is the next page after this is the next page after this one. It more so implies that Frisk and Chara here are actually the flowers that Kris was holding. So that's why I feel like I wanted to clean up this page, because it wasn't that clear here, because it was kind of doodled in and easily missed. Especially because like the flower shape here doesn't exactly like match what the cleaned up page here looks like. So yeah. Another thing you'll also notice is how we paneled this. Like a pretty big portion of the page down here is like cut out in white. This is to emphasize this last part here where Kris like throws down their star here, and it like it gives that feeling here where it feels like the stars sort of like rain down here, which references how like bringing the items from the light world to the dark world, how like their little lights kind of rain down here. Yeah. Okay. I should export this. Alright. Oh, do I need to update this page too? Not sure. Okay, so I said earlier in the previous stream that ended because the computer died, I said I might clean this up, but I actually feel this was fine. It has all the information you need. But yeah, hands. Okay. Yeah, I need to update these ones. Yeah. Because right now I want to focus more on updating the more important pages, or the ones that are like little super rough, kinda. So many pages. Ugh. I could at least clean up the background here. Okay. Yeah. So when making a comic, a good thing to do, like before you do anything, is to make a grid. In Clip Studio, if you're wondering how like I made a different colored grid, it's actually, you have to go into like the settings. It's not like Procreate where you can like change the colors on the fly. You have to like go in the actual like interface menu to change the color, but so you do want to make a grid so that like you can see if things are like aligned or not, and especially like if you're doing a comic and how we're doing it, where we're not using the paneling function that like Clip Studio comes with, where like it pretty much like generates a panel for you. Let me show how that works. So pretty much how it works is that you like draw this, and then it pretty much becomes its own layer group, like a folder, and then anything you draw in here, it's pretty much like a mask, but simplified, and like made it easy for you. And like you can move this whole thing, and stuff like that. You can draw below it. That's how the panel function works in Clip Studio, but the reason why we're not using it is because we actually want to be able to blend things together, such like that. So that's why it's also important, even for like if you're using like the paneling function, having a consistent grid that you use across all the panels or pages is pretty nice. So with this one we just pretty much have it so that like we can like draw the panels just by drawing a line, and like having it set to like follow the grid, snap to grid. This one I feel it's not that important to clean up, but it's like a new establishing shot and like a new area. So I feel they can use like being more cleaning it up a little. Alright, I should have a little preview window right here. Open the old version so I can compare them. And how I open like a little preview window like this is just going to Windows, Canvas, new window. How I set it with the OBS screen capture thing, you can't see like pop out menus, but it's just in the window, and then you click Canvas, new window, like that. Ugh. So for the sky section, this section, I feel what really ties it all together is the sky gradient, because it just looks more like the sky. Yeah, so you can see how much that, like, changes the feeling of it. Like that. Oh gosh, I erase it. Yeah, I did. So this is also like a big reason why I like to not use the panel function, because I can do like cool things like this. Where it kind of feels like kind of mirrored. So with the sky section, we were a little unsure of how to do some of the paneling, like the panel separation, because you'll see some here where it's like a black panel border. Let me, because like for most of these you'll see how it's all like white borders. Okay, right here. Let me just pop that. But thing is, issue with that is that the clouds are pure white as well. So like with these two panels right here, it's like how exactly you're gonna separate them if the panel border is already white. So we're still trying to solve that issue, but I feel it's a thing that's like, it can only really be fixed if you're going to like actually render out the page. Because like right here, it's only because we rendered out the page more that we can change the borders back to fully white. Which we couldn't really do with the old one here because of this part right here. The ground and the clouds, leaves thing. It just wouldn't look right. But here, it looks right. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, we actually haven't really drawn clouds all that much, despite our username. We just really like clouds a lot. So making this comic has like really helped us like learn how to make clouds and stuff like that. Not sure if this section... I'm not sure if I should add a third color. Actually, I could, yeah. So the reason why I'm drawing all this zoomed out is because while you're reading, you're pretty much going to read it zoomed out. So it's when it comes to comics, in my opinion, what's more important is like what you like see immediately, like if it's like clear at first glance. Of course, there's some exceptions, but yeah, because while you're reading, I feel majority of the time, readers aren't going to focus on very minute details, especially if you're like trying to read at a pace, because at least for me, I find myself like reading decently fast because I want to read at a pace that like feels like a natural progression of time. So I'm not going to like, at least when I'm starting a comic from like start to end, I'm not going to stare at a detail unless it like really catches my attention. So I feel it's both important to think of like the hierarchy of like what this page, like what the page you're doing actually needs. Here, let me move this. And especially, the thing that people are going to focus on like, first thing will always be the text bubbles, and if there's like nothing else important besides the text bubbles, even if the artwork is beautiful, if the artwork itself doesn't give any story information, then often it's probably going to be ignored. That's just how a lot of reading the comic is like. It's usually only when like someone wants to sit down and be like, at least for me, like wanting to sit down and fully look at all the details, that's not going to fully like, okay, that doesn't, that's not going to really happen naturally while reading a comic. So, in my opinion, it's good to have things in your comic that you would only really know if you look at it visually. Like, pay attention to the visuals. Instead of thinking of focusing too much on information being only said or shown via text bubbles, which it's a pretty easy trap to fall into, because comics are both a visual and reading medium, but I feel it's very easy to forget that, again, it's also a visual medium and visual storytelling and such like that. Which should also apply to important information, at least some of them. Nice background. So here's the comparison of the old background with the new one. That is the wrong. Okay. So right here. Whoop. So that's the comparison of the background there. And then here's it a little zoomed out. that. Okay. Honestly, with this part, I feel it is more important to actually focus more on cleaning up the backgrounds instead of the character design stuff. Because you'll actually see here that this is actually Frisk's old design of this AU. Because like the wings are a little small like that, while here the wings are actually more vine-like and thinner like that. As long as like there's some pages, like at least clean pages and such that like shows like the complete design, I feel it's not really needed to like update designs and stuff like that. I'm going to do something where this part extends here, so it actually feels like the ground part hill of the left page sort of feels like it's extending to the right page. I always love how we've made Chara's dialogue, because it, they're, like, their text is always floating like this, and, why is the, their text is always floating and left aligned, and it just feels more like they are a narrator, and, like, more distant and such like that. Blech. Okay. Yeah, because a big important part of this section is like the feeling of the background. So like I said earlier, with how like a lot of people probably won't be paying attention to the background. I feel that it's good to always keep that in mind, but I feel like here it's the feeling that's very important. Bleh. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna... Well. Oh, the border. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna take a small break and be right back a little bit. Waha. Okay. I'm gonna get back to drawing. Okay. Page. Oh my gosh, this is page 50? Okay. Page 50, 51. Wowie. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot to take off the... Okay. I'm no longer gone. Okay. 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 Now I can clean up the characters a little. The guppy. Boopy. Boopy. Up. Man. This pose is a little hard to draw. I feel like this is something I should do solo. Like, not on a stream. But Yippee. Hey. Beep, 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 beep. I touched the menu. Is your big eyes? Sorry. I need a. The animal! The animal! Okay. I want to keep their big eyes. I'm not sure if I should give them a surprised look or a... Yeah, I should make them a little surprised. Cause they were like gossiping about Chara while they were passed out. The bee. Okay. Okay, I think it's a little too big. Animal. I think that's a good size. Animal. Creature. The creature. Ugh. I don't know how to do a piggyback pose. I need to I need to fix that up later. Yeah. Wait, I get my left and rights mixed up. Oh. Okay, this side would be that. Yeah. Okay. I love asymmetrical designs, and with the intentions of Frisk and Chara's design, I don't know if I have a updated version. I had an artwork that showed it off, but let me just grab, so, it's not the, so the intentions with their design is to be, they're supposed to resemble, like, slightly resemble a demon and angel, but it's easy to miss that, and Another thing is like to balance like their quote-unquote wing and horn. So it's pretty much like a swap thing, and it's pretty much just practically the same thing but flipped. And that's the intention with their design. He And another thing is that they're supposed to be, the horn and wings are supposed to be like leaves, like leaves and vine stuff. So it's not actually rigid. And Chara's horns does resemble antlers, which wasn't really intentional, but is a fun coincidence. You can also see that this one right here, the side view reference, is a little outdated design-wise, because old Chara, let me see if I can actually, I'll just doodle it. Old Chara had horns that were this shape. So it's like a wing-shaped horn like that. But we changed it to this, which is slightly different, a little hard to notice, but it's so that it more mirrors Frisk design, and well, this is more like that. It's so it mirrors Frisk design more, and it's a pretty unique shape. Of course, it's a little harder to draw, but it's really fun. So you can see that like shape mirrored right here with the wing. I need to try to draw these more like leaves, because it's actually a lot more fun that way. So you can see that with the wing and horn. I should move this back. I think it would like overlap more because of the angle. Puppy. 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 Oh, I can make this. Well, actually, I can remove this. Sometimes when I draw Chara, I just think, wow, their horns kind of look like bug. They look like a little bug. Insect. Like mandibles, like a bug mandible. Animal. Yeah, their head is a little big. Ah. Okay. Blah, blah. Whoopee. Whoopee. Okay. Let's see. Oh, right. I just remembered what I was gonna say. My brain. Brain is goo. Oh, torture. Torture. Torched. Okay. I almost lost my thought again. So, the reason why I removed these little bubbles, the little, like, groggy, sleepy bubbles, a thing, that we also made a point of with this comic is, not showing, I don't know what it's called, like, I don't think visual effect is the right word, like, emotional visual effects, like this, or like sweat like that, or something. We could have forgotten one thing, like a visual effect that you wouldn't actually see, unless if it's like a sound effect, which is kind of necessary in this instance. We made a point of not using those, because we wanted it to feel like grounded. I'm not sure how to word it right. Like feel more real, but in feeling, but not actual like realism. So like everything I want to express on like the actual character and not like a visual flair kind of deal. That's just a personal thing with at least this comic. Again, I could have probably forgotten one instance on the comic itself, but yeah. And another reason is because we actually wanted it to be a little vague on like so pretty much what happens is Chara assumably falls asleep before this part, but like the thing is there's like a reasonable doubt like if they were asleep or not. But so we like to keep that like okay, that is not okay. So like a reasonable doubt if they were asleep or not. But yeah. I want them all to look a little scrunkly right here. Yeah, scrunkle. I want to squish them. I'm gonna change Frisk's pose a little. The great thing with fire style, way we draw, it's, you've seen it a lot right now, or during this whole thing, but, we pretty much just draw in like a sketching, sculpting style, where, the sketch and the line art is the same thing. We just can make the sketch into the quote-unquote line art by just cleaning it up a little. And for us, it's really great for comics and stuff, for us, because it's like very easy to fix things and make it rendered, because all you have to do is just clean it up a little and there you go. And it is our usual style. Though, like, for artworks, of course, we would spend more time on it, but this one is like the more rougher. Yeah, because usually when you're making a comic, you do want to make it more simpler than, like, your usual style. And yeah. So I was just laughing a little because I was like thinking about like the posing right here, because like now that I added an expression to Frisk, it feels like Kris just suddenly stepping a little too close to Frisk, and Frisk is a little like irritated or like what? Or I don't know. It's just, I think it just looks a little silly in a funny way. Oh yeah, and with all the color overlays, it is done by hand, because it's just a lot easier and like easier to control the colors, and because it would take a lot more layers to like do a layering effect when we could easily just do it on one layer. And also choose the colors too, because when these specific colors overlay, they actually would not produce these specific shades. And we spent a lot of time making sure the colors for this comic, like at least the specific colors used, like the main rainbow hues that we use are all like colorblind friendly. Let me grab like we did like a ton of tests and stuff, so like each shade here, like each color here has its own more like distinct grayscale value, along with the other at least the color blindness filters, because it's not always perfect. They still are all distinct in their own way, the colors, and like especially like the main hues here, which are like RGB, CMY, they all still are distinct right here, which it's really freaking hard to do. It was super time consuming, but definitely do it if you can. Yeah. And oh my gosh. And another thing you'll notice if you like pay attention to the colors is how oh, wrong layer. Here we go. I'm getting out of here. The guppy. Okay. You'll notice. Actually, let me show the refs along with that. You'll notice that the characters' shades are actually pretty distinct. So like the red, green, and blue. So like red being the darkest, green being the lightest, and Kris is between that. There's actually a reason for us doing that specifically, not just because Kris is like quote unquote between, or like a fusion of the two. It's also because, you know, as you know, should know, green and red are like one of the most easily like blended together colors when it comes to like red and green color blindness. They look very similar. So we wanted to make a point where one of them is the darkest, one of them is the lightest. Because for most, blue is always, not always, most of the time, the most clear. So that's why we chose red as the darkest, because that's just more natural. When in actuality, blue would be considered the darkest color naturally when it comes to like pure color. Blue is considered darker than the red, while green is the lightest. So we ignored that concept for this, just so it's a little more accessible. Blech. And here, let me also grab grabbing a thingy. Whoa. So this is an older version where I use the older colors. And this one is the release version where it uses our it should be using our actual colors. It might be a little off though. Actually, let me. Could be a possibility. That's a little. It's this one. Okay, yeah, I think that one was a little outdated. Okay, I think I actually have to update that page. That color, yeah, that red is a little off. But, you'll see right here, actually, I should. Whoa. So many windows, wow. Let me, so if I zoom this out like this, you'll see that how much more clearer the tone difference is on the right side compared to the left side. On the left side, pretty much all the characters had the same brightness to their colors. So like just from the silhouette alone, they just look very similar, including the shade of it, while here, it's a ton more clear. Even though it's such a minor change, it does a lot. And you can very clearly see like the hue difference, like on the first panel here, where Chara is like clearly a lot more darker than the green here. Yeah. So yeah, all the colors in this comic are like very specifically chosen. A lot of tweaking, a lot of trial and error stuff. There's so much I could talk about this comic, but a lot of it has like not come up yet, so I don't want to exactly spoil those ideas or like kind of leave it out in the dark because like you won't really be able to see the pages yet as of this upload stream. But yeah. I need to try and make it so that like their leaf horns like flop around a little. Bunkly. I guess I can try to draw a piggyback. Let me. Oh god, this is not gonna end up well. Oh god. Okay, I'll have to do this off stream. I can't. But yeah, we. Okay. Oh, forgot about this panel. I should make them a little smaller. Wow, 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 wow. Ba, ba, ba. Let me figure out the angle of this. I think it's like a little. Oh yeah, so with the text bubbles, the reason why I didn't have it point to the Kris right here, yeah, like the small Kris right here, it's because I wanted to give the feeling of like, we're kind of seeing it, and like we're seeing this practically in like Frisk's perspective. They're like looking upwards, and then they look to the left, kind of like distracted. And because they're distracted, it's like they hear Kris speak, but it's like you don't really kind of notice it. It's just like a little more in the background, and then they like kind of like snap to attention, like and like kind of just notice it. That's why the speech bubbles are kind of like off like that. It's kind of like you're focused on something else, and then someone starts talking to you, and you're like, oh, what? That's the exact feeling we were trying to convey. And that's why the bubbles here specifically is out here, and more of like, and more like, like this here, being like its own panel, like own connected panel here, because this bubble formation lines up with the bottom panel here, but it doesn't line up with this, so it kind of like overlaps, kind of. Which also gives that extra like disconnect feel and only kind of notice once in the final panel. And to go along with that, important thing to remember is how bubbles are comics cameras. Because like said earlier, I think it was, I can't remember if it was this screen or the last screen that died. But the first thing you always look at is always the speech bubbles. So using the bubbles as a way to guide your eye around as like an actual camera for your comic. So like right here, you start up here, and like you go down here, and you get that same feeling of what Frisk is doing, where they're looking out. They're kind of like looking out into the sky. You probably don't even notice them right here. You're like, you start looking here, and then like you start like reading downwards, and then you might notice them here. And that's why this right here is all the way out there, because you're going to more likely look up at the sky. And then the connection of these two bubbles are right next to each other. So like you immediately jump from this one to that one. So it's like, it feels like an immediate response. And then this bubble is actually pretty far off. And then it goes to here, because like you get the feeling that like this is off screen. And then you read onwards, and then that's when you see Frisk here. You probably won't see them right away when you're like reading from here. So you get that feeling of like, oh, and then they like turn, and then they say, let them rest. So it's pretty much like its own camera motion, looking in the sky, then snapping to attention, and then finally seeing Frisk more so focused on what Kris said here. And you're likely going to see the two here when you read this bubble, because it's like right across from each other. So yeah. So it's good to keep in mind how bubbles are your camera. So, it's not always like you should always put the bubble right on top of what you want the reader to see, but you do want it near what the reader wants to see, because if the important thing is nowhere near a bubble and like not like as noticeable, it'll probably be missed. So yeah. Oh, right. I was cleaning up a thing. Blah. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean up the rest of this page off screen because hard to draw piggyback pose. But yeah, I'm gonna I'll be ending stream soon. Look at my sign. Well, yeah. I'm going to show all the progress. Let me this. All right. I did a lot this past stream. So yeah, these are all the pages and stuff that we did. That is the Okay, that's the wrong one. Let me... That's the wrong old page. Let me go grab. I exported it. I forgot I did that. Let me... grab this one. There we go. So these are all the pages we did. Just gonna and here's to focus on these two. The most recent one did. Okay, that's a little yeah, my sign overlaps it. Let me pop that off. There we go. So you can see all that up close. And finally the one that we did the first time. The first one we updated. This one. Yeah. So once I get the blue one all cleaned up, I'm going to upload both of these as a page update. So beep 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 beep, yeah. These are the two pages together. My sign. Let me... do that. Yeah. Guess that works. Yippee! You made it to the end! Yahoo. Yahoo. And, thank you for watching. If you want to read the comic, it's right there. The link, both on Comic Fury and, Tumblr. Yeah. Buppy. Buppy.